a Stars and Stripes bikini and a red cowboy hat. And they said, Michael, she's 15, so you can't sit her at the bar and she can't have a drink in her hand. So his solution to that problem was...
Megan Fox has faced her share of challenges in Hollywood, especially due to the roles she's been cast in and the industry's problematic culture. Over the years, Megan has spoken out about her experiences, including dealing with some of the industry's more troubling figures. However, her willingness to be vocal has come at a cost, impacting her career in significant ways. Megan revealed that she started speaking out against Hollywood's sexism long before movements like $Me Too gained traction. Unfortunately, instead of being praised for her courage, she was ridiculed. Between 2008 and 2009, Megan openly discussed the sexism she endured, particularly during her time working with director Michael Bay. She made headlines for her comments, even comparing Bay to historical figures like Hitler and Napoleon. In one interview, Megan said Michael wanted his sets to feel like Hitler's on his set. She described him as a nightmare to work for, but added that, off-set, he was a completely different person, awkward, vulnerable, and lacking social skills. She admitted to finding his awkwardness endearing, but didn't hold back when calling him a tyrant while directing. Publicly criticizing a director, especially one as prominent as Michael Bay, was bound to create backlash. In a 2009 interview with Wonderland magazine, Megan doubled down, calling out Bay's efforts to cultivate an insane, infamous madman reputation. Her remarks sparked widespread attention and, unfortunately, led to professional consequences. Not long after, Megan's opportunities began to dwindle. The most notable fallout came when she was removed from the third Transformers film. According to Michael Bay, the decision wasn't entirely his. He claimed that Steven Spielberg insisted she be let go, though he himself apologized for how things played out. However, his apology felt insincere, as he commented, "I'm sorry I made you work 12 hours. I'm sorry I made you show up on time. Movies are not always warm and fuzzy." His words hardly came across as genuine regret. The fallout with Michael Bay wasn't the only instance that affected Megan's career. She continued to push back against him and the industry's treatment of women, but it seemed to work against her. Megan even appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live and shared a disturbing story about being cast in Bad Boys 2 when she was just 15 years old. She described how she was brought onto the set wearing a Stars and Stripes bikini and a red cowboy hat. Since she was underage, she wasn't allowed to sit at the bar or hold a drink in her hand. Instead, Michael Bay's solution was to have her dance under a waterfall, soaking wet. Megan remarked how inappropriate this was, especially considering she was just in 10th grade at the time. Jimmy Kimmel's reaction during the interview didn't help matters. Rather than expressing concern or empathy, his response was dismissive, brushing it off with a joke. Years later, this interview resurfaced, sparking the trending hashtag #JustCancelKimmel. Many viewers found his response appalling, but others pointed out that more attention should have been directed toward Michael Bay's actions. Megan's willingness to share these stories and call out problematic behavior earned her both support and criticism. Unfortunately, the criticism often outweighed the support. After being fired from the Transformers franchise following Revenge of the Fallen, she became the target of a smear campaign. Her name was dragged through the mud, and her reputation as an actress took a significant hit. Industry insiders and media narratives began questioning whether Megan was truly mistreated or if she was simply difficult to work with. This shift in public perception affected her ability to secure new roles, leaving her career in a fragile state for years. The backlash against Megan highlights a larger issue within Hollywood, one where women who speak out often face severe consequences. Instead of addressing the systemic problems, the industry and media have a history of sidelining those who challenge the status quo. In Megan's case, her career struggles became a cautionary tale about the risks of standing up to powerful figures. While Megan's candidness may have hurt her career in the short term, it also shed light on the darker side of Hollywood. Her story serves as a reminder of the ongoing challenges women face in the entertainment industry, even when they're at the height of their success. Despite the obstacles, Megan's willingness to speak out deserves recognition, not ridicule. Her experiences and the conversations they've sparked contribute to a larger movement pushing for accountability and change in Hollywood. An anonymous letter, allegedly written by crew members who worked with Megan Fox, once surfaced online, and it painted a harsh and negative picture of her. The letter criticized Megan's professionalism and her behavior on set, claiming she was difficult to work with. If the crew members themselves are speaking negatively about you, it's a serious issue, especially since crew members play such an essential role in any production. They're not just there to assist, they're the backbone of the set, and they deserve respect. When they feel disrespected or unhappy, it can make the entire work environment toxic. The anonymous letter stated that the writers couldn't reveal their identities because doing so could lead to them being blacklisted in Hollywood. In the letter, Megan was called dumb as a rock and accused of being grumpy and never smiling on set. The writers even went as far as to say she behaved like trailer trash and posed like a porno star. They mocked her acting, describing it as cringy, and even criticized her for having a tattoo on her back, which they attributed to her rotten childhood. The language in this letter was incredibly mean-spirited, one of the harshest public attacks on an actress in recent memory. The letter continued to portray Megan as one of the most ungrateful and unkind individuals they had ever encountered. Some people believe this letter was orchestrated by Michael Bay himself to further discredit Megan after she had spoken out against him. Given the detailed and specific incidents mentioned in the letter, it's possible that it did come from individuals who worked on set. However, the timing and the tone of the letter make it hard to dismiss the possibility that it was part of a calculated smear campaign against her. This letter dealt a heavy blow to Megan's career and reputation. It unleashed a wave of backlash against her, and she later opened up about how deeply it affected her mental health. Megan said that after this incident, she reached a point where she didn't want to be seen at all. She avoided taking photos, attending events, walking red carpets, or even being out in public because she was so afraid of being ridiculed, mocked, or humiliated. Megan admitted that this period led to a very dark time in her life. She explained that her breakdown wasn't just about being objectified. It was more about being completely dehumanized. The constant negativity directed at her from all sides began to weigh on her. Megan said she didn't even need to read or hear the negative comments directly because the energy of so many people thinking badly of her felt like it penetrated her. She described feeling as though she had no defenses against the hateful energy being thrown her way, which left her emotionally exposed and vulnerable. Even when Megan tried to take on more meaningful roles, such as her part in the film Jennifer's Body, she still faced heavy criticism. The movie, which many saw as a feminist work, was not well received at the time. Critics labeled her character as shallow, and Megan's performance didn't get the appreciation it deserved. She later expressed her disappointment in how the feminist community had rejected her. Megan felt that something about her provoked people in a way they couldn't process, leading them to push her away. She admitted that this rejection hurt, as it felt like she wasn't accepted even by those she was trying to align with. In one interview, Megan talked about how all the objectification and backlash had impacted her. She shared that her natural personality isn't introverted, but the fame and public scrutiny made her retreat into herself. Fame, she explained, can be extremely difficult to navigate if you're at all sensitive or delicate. For years, Megan essentially went into hiding, avoiding the spotlight and trying to protect herself from the constant judgment and negativity. What makes Megan's story even more significant is that she began speaking out against Hollywood's misogynistic and abusive culture nearly a decade before the Me Too movement gained traction. Back in 2008 and 2009, she called attention to the industry's toxic behaviors, but instead of being supported, she was ridiculed for it. The world simply wasn't ready to listen at the time. Megan was ahead of her time in speaking out, but it came at the cost of her career and reputation. Megan's courage to speak up and share her experiences with objectification, dehumanization, and the misogyny in Hollywood was groundbreaking. Yet, instead of being celebrated, she was silenced and vilified. This treatment not only hurt her professionally, but also deeply affected her personal well-being. In addition to all of this, Megan's relationships have also been a source of scrutiny and controversy, adding another layer of difficulty to her already complicated career. While her story is full of hardships and challenges, it also highlights the darker side of fame and the entertainment industry.